A Beloit woman faces multiple charges for allegedly abusing an adult with disabilities on multiple occasions. Rock County deputies arrested 49-year-old Toyo Perez today. Back on January 23rd, they got a call about a potential battery of a disabled adult by a caregiver. After reviewing hours of surveillance footage, deputies charged Perez with 10 counts of intentionally subjecting an individual at risk to abuse, causing bodily harm. They're referring those charges, that is, and also 10 counts of intentionally abusing or harming a patient by a facility or program employee, causing bodily harm. She's due in court tomorrow.